we are going to have a closed meeting, but we needed a call to order this meeting. It's will be the Payson City Council meeting for November 5th, 2025, and the time is just after 5:30. Moving on to B, I'd like to have the council make a motion to adjourn to a closed meeting.
So moved.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion and yes. Say that again.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the regular meeting and go into closed meeting on November 5th at 6:34 p.m. and 6:35. 5.
Well,
My new glasses aren't here yet.
we're close.
5:32 and 12 seconds to discuss real estate purchase. And that's all.
Okay,
I'll second.
okay, we have a motion been seconded. Roll call vote starting with Council Christensen,
Yes.
Council Hewlett,
Yes.
Council Rowley,
Yes.
Council Moss,
Yes.
and Council Hyatt.
Yes.
Okay, we'll adjourn to a closed session and we'll be back prior to 6 o'clock. This will be the Payson City Council meeting for November 5th, 2025. And again, the time is 6 o'clock. We have just adjourned from a closed meeting. That closed meeting was in accordance with state requirements. And it was closed to talk about acquiring some property. So discussion regarding purchase, exchange, sale, or lease of real property. And that was the reason for the closed session. So we'll go ahead and open this meeting with Council Christensen offering the open prayer.
Our dear and gracious Heavenly Father, we gather together as a community today to discuss the affairs of Payson City. And we ask for thy spirit to be with us, that we may be able to listen with open hearts and open minds, and that we will be able to make conscientious decisions and things that need to move forward. We pray for thy spirit and blessing to be upon us in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Brett. We'll have the pledge allegiance by Council Moss.
Please stand. Repeat with me.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, moving on to the consent agenda. Number one, approval of the October 15th, 2025 City Council minutes. And number two, a proclamation to become a just serve city. Would like to recognize Alan and Chris Riley as the, what's your title, Al? Just serve specialist. They're the representative just serve, and we're glad that you're here. So that's part of this consent agenda. Okay, unless there's any discussion amongst the council, I'm ready for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Yes, Mayor, I would like to hear briefly what does it mean for us to become a just serve city? I love that organization, but what does that mean?
Alan, would you like to come up, or Chris, or either one of you or both of you? Just a quick explanation. Sorry to put you on the spot, but
We are really excited to have Payson become a just serve city. It's an opportunity in our community to be able to bridge gaps through service. And it's opportunity for any kind of nonprofit organizations, or if you need help in the city, then we can post projects on our Just Serve website, and it's open for people to reach out and to serve. I think that's one of the things that's really going to help the young people in our community, if we can teach them that that's how you make friends and influence people, is by being able to reach out and serve. And so I think part of this proclamation is that you will recognize Just Serve volunteers and kind of put it front and center that we would love to encourage people that if you want to bridge a gap, you serve somebody.
Thank you, Christine.
Okay.
And with that, Chris, as she mentioned, we can recognize, they call them heroes, service heroes. And so once a year, the city can decide on an individual who's been gone the extra mile in service and do that recognition. And lastly, Spanish Forks have just served city, and we can't let them
No.
be better than us. We're a lot better than us.
Well, it'll be, I believe the council's in unison on this, I hope, because I'm going to speak.
Especially after the last comment.
So it'll be our honor to be a Just Serve City, and just so the citizens are aware, we do have an interfaith council. I'd love to invite the Just Serve to be with us on that
We'd love to be part of
Yeah,
that.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you very
okay,
much.
Thank you, Riley's. Mayor, I motion that we approve the consent agenda.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion been seconded. Roll call vote, starting with Council Hyatt,
Yes.
Council Moss,
Yes.
Council Rowley,
Yes.
Council Hewlett.
Yes.
Council Christensen.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries. Appreciate it. Going to F, petitions. I don't see Shelby. Oh, you're going to take care of it? Okay, wonderful. This Citizens Youth Recognition Award.
Great, thank you. Yeah, Mayor, you sign them. Yeah, we can bring them down here. And Mayor, if you want to come down
You
to
bet.
award those as the time comes. And I didn't see if McKay Glenn was here yet, but Tyler Stinson is. Would you come up, Tyler? So maybe to start, you can say your name, which school you're in, and your favorite place to eat.
Hi, I'm Tyler Stinson. I go to school at Mount Nebo Middle, and I like to eat at Chubby's Cafe. Nice.
Okay, fantastic. Come on over here by the mayor. So teachers have said Tyler is a wonderful kid who always is friendly and kind. He always tries to do the right thing. Tyler is kind and hardworking student who consistently gives his best effort. He stays focused, participates thoughtfully, and brings a positive attitude to everything that he does. His great sense of humor and friendly personality make the classroom a better place to be. Tyler's dedication, kindness, and positivity truly make him stand out as an exceptional student. Great job, Tyler. And then is McKay here at this point? Okay, well maybe, yeah, I'd like to read his. McKay Glenn at the junior high. Teachers say that McKay is grateful, respectful, responsible, and resilient, which is the very heart of our GER motto there for the junior high. He lives those values in everything he does. McKay is grateful for every opportunity to learn, and he shows appreciation to those around him. He is respectful and kind, always lifting up his classmates and encouraging others. He is responsible, dependable, and the first to jump in when someone needs a hand. He's also resilient. McKay doesn't give up when things get tough. Instead, he faces challenges with determination and a positive attitude. So we'd like to congratulate him as well. Yeah, why don't you shake hands with the council and jump in the front for a picture? Sure.
Okay, Ann, I guess you're up.
I'm already here.
Yes, I know. I saw you. Yard of the month.
Yes.
For
So out of
Halloween.
all the Yard of the Month awards that we give out, I think this is one of the most fun. We had a lot of contenders for the Halloween Yard of the Month. And so it was hard to choose just one, but I'm excited to announce an award that is it Kira? Callaway and Maverick Giles won the Halloween Yard of the Month for Payson City this month, and it was awesome. So if you can come up here and you get a $100 gift certificate to Olson's. So good job, you guys.
Thank you very much. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, I bet. There you go.
Do we have a picture?
We'd like to get a picture with you.
No, picture.
A picture of
the Oh.
It's on their certificate. I
It's on the certificate.
It's okay, I wanna look at it.
Yeah, they should start showing us those. Yes, that's.
That was really cool. Okay, 1, 2, 3. You got it? You are back. There we go. Yeah, I don't know.
I never think when one probably can't see it, it looks so much cooler at night. We did, we just finished today, but I got it on Facebook, I can send y'all in on Facebook. Thank you very much, thank you. We should just, we have all trick or treaters.
Well, those go into Thanksgiving.
And parents and stuff like that, oh my God, it was so much fun.
Who's ever had a trick or treat in my house?
Grandkids.
Wow, grandkids don't work.
Oh, yeah, it was so fun, so fun.
Yeah.
Okay, next item on the, on petitions is oath of office for a new city recorder, Emily Otley. And, yeah, we're not quite ready to let Kim go yet, but, we're excited to have Emily with us, and we'll turn some time over to the judge.
I do solemnly swear that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States of America, the Constitution of the State of Utah, laws and ordinances of the city. That I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity.
If we put you on the spot, Emily, do you want to say a few words after you sign that? I guess I got turned down. No, you bet.
This one now, you're set.
Okay, the next item on the petition is a public forum. And the instructions are anyone can speak. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes or less. There is one caution that I would have here. I think there may be some here that would like to talk about the property that we discussed in our closed session. That will be on, it is on the agenda, and so we'll be talking about it shortly. So please, those that have something to say, that this public forum won't be available to you. But anybody want to speak on any other subject, please come up and speak. Sandy.
I'm Sandy Huff, and I'm here in behalf of Tabitha's Food Pantry, which is in Spanish Fork. It's our local food pantry. I think most of you are familiar with it. And I was thinking tonight must be the night to talk about service, because we are a community of service and a state of service. And I just wanted to issue an invitation to the council and the mayor. Every year, the food pantry gives for Thanksgiving and for Christmas, they give food baskets, and we invite each of the local councils if they would like to participate in giving out the food baskets. And I think the mayor has participated the last couple of years. And I don't know about the rest of the council, but it's just a nice thing to do, I think. And I would like to thank the community and thank everybody that participates in the local food pantry, because that's really what keeps us running. And a lot of times people think there's not a need in our little community, but even before the problems that we're having now with the SNAP being put on hold and other issues, and even in our community, we have a lot of people who depend on the pantry at Tabitha's Way. So just like we've got our third quarter report here. And so this is just for July, August, and September. And the pantry has provided for Payson 127,000 meals for the third quarter. So that's just for those 3 months. And total meals that have been provided, 557,500 meals. So we do. I'm thankful to be here representing Tabitha's, and we're so grateful for all that the community does. And the schools do food drives, which help us. We count on the community. We're grateful for the community, and I'm thankful to be here and be able to give that little report. I don't know if anybody's got any questions you want to ask me about it.
Council, any questions, comments?
Just thank you so much.
Okay, so I'm going to leave these invitations for you, if you will. If you want to take them and you can respond, they would like you to respond so they know how to plan. And also, if anybody's interested in doing a food drive, it's really easy, and I can leave you information on that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sandy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Chris Kilmer, just clarification. When you guys talk about the plunder, is there still going to be public input? Or is this?
Well, we'll discuss it, and then at that point in time, we'll decide how far into it we go.
Okay.
We will discuss it.
Okay. Will you kind of real quick lay out where we're at in that process?
And that will be discussed when we talk about the plunder building. I
Okay.
really don't mean to put you up, but we will
No.
talk about it.
I'm just trying to make the most so I guess what is now the time I should present my point of view, or do I have?
If you'll just wait until we talk about it, I think that point
Okay,
of view might be
great.
moved.
Thank you.
So
That's exactly what I needed to know. So
It's not scheduled for a public hearing.
it's not, but it was on the schedule, but I think you'll be okay.
okay, great, thank you. While I'm up here, we just had an election, right? So that means somebody's not coming back in a couple of months, right? And so I just want to just say thank you, right? Right.
Appreciate it.
I've been here a couple different times. I haven't agreed with everybody. There's been complaints. Lots of people complain about everything, but the one complaint I haven't heard is that you haven't showed up and you haven't done your job, right? So I've never heard that complaint. So sincerely, thank you for your time and for, it's a lot of time actually, and for your time and your efforts and everything that's put into it. So
Appreciate it.
Thanks,
Very
Chris.
much. Okay, not seeing anybody online for our public forum? Emily, nope, okay, then we'll. Okay. Okay, then we'll close the public forum and go on to staff reports.
I know it's just up here, but in the community services, I wanted to point out a few things. Number one, we wanted to congratulate Doug Oldham's 6th grade football team. They didn't win, but they took 2nd place in the flight, in the B flight of the 6th grade in the county. There's about 250 total teams. Obviously not all in 6th grade, but there's quite a few teams that play, and so we're happy for them for doing that. Also, we did start our women's volleyball last night. They'll play tonight again. Tomorrow night we have 45 teams playing there. Men's basketball starting next week. And then last night we also started our youth volleyball first night of games and our youth wrestling matches. So it was a good Tuesday night full of activities, and they continue each night if you didn't know. I did want to point out as well that the Friends of the Library and the Parks crew installed the library story walk out at Spring Lake. At least these are the stands. The book is not in there yet, but the intent is that you'll be able to read a book as you walk around the lake. So you'll have pages to go to. And so it incentivizes health and wellness as well as being outdoors. And so I'm sure Molly is all set with a book to put in there. We'll find out tomorrow night at the library board meeting, most likely which one's going, but thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor and Council, I just wanted to report on, and maybe some of the councilmen might, but we were invited by Strawberry Water users to go walk the power canal and look at those facilities, and it was quite interesting. I was a little nervous. I don't know if I slept much because I thought, am I going to walk through a little pipe for 3 miles? But it was great to see. It was good to associate. We had some people from the Bureau of Reclamation, Department of Interior, Central Utah Water, Strawberry, Highline, some people from Spanish Fork City, Salem City, and Councilman Rowley and Mayor went through. But it was awesome, and it wasn't scrunched. It was a 9-foot box culvert for most of the time.
And no water came, thank goodness.
And the water didn't come and wash us out, but it was fascinating. It's great to see what our forefathers did in preparing to get water here for our South Utah Valley for all these hundreds of years. And so it was awesome. Just wanted to report on that.
Yeah. I might add, had it not been for that forethought of our ancestors, we probably would not be here, because that's how the water gets to the southern part of Utah County. So very, very, very appreciative. Robert?
I was too chicken to go.
Amen
And I
to
freely admit it. Mayor and Council, you'll hear from me a little later, but I wanted to get up and just report on a couple things. First of all, I attended the Home Builders Association Government Affairs meeting today, and just wanted to give a little bit of insight. We talked for almost an hour about a small sliver of proposed legislation, bills that are going to be coming, and I think that you should be aware of the kind of the flavor of what's coming. First of all, there's a proposed infrastructure funding bill that will actually be a good thing. Infrastructure is probably the thing that is separating affordable housing the most in our state, and being able to tackle that is going to take all of our efforts. And I really appreciated the fact that some of our legislative partners are working on that. So I'm excited for that. There's a bill, zoning by right for detached accessory dwelling units. We allow those in our city right now. I don't know what this proposed legislation, how it would affect what we currently allow, if there's changes to height and things like that. One that was really interesting, there's a proposal to allow zoning by right for 8 units to the acre. As just universally, and there's going to be some interesting discussion about that particular bill and how cities respond to it. So as we move in, that'll be really interesting. Engineering standards being standardized across the state is another one that's going to be rearing its head again, and the wildland urban interface for the fire zones is another one that's going to be coming up. There were some missteps in some previous legislation, and hopefully they will address those. Unfortunately, the requirements for the current code will be already in place. We have to adopt some things by December 31st of this year. so they won't be able to correct them until we actually have to take action. So that's going to be interesting. Proportional infrastructure impact fees is one that's going to be coming up and talking about. And then there's a proposal for legislation to eliminate the requirement for garages on any residential dwelling. That's lots of fun. I bring that up specifically to say I think it's important for you to be involved. I think it's important for you to be aware of the Friday facts and what comes out in the ULCT newsletters and things like that. And if you have questions or whatever, please let us know what's going on and how we can help. And we're going to be doing our level best to understand all of that legislation. I made the comment that maybe the legislature should focus on fewer bills and make them better, but hopefully some people took note. But anyway, that's just a plea for your continued help, and we appreciate what you do. A couple other things. We are so grateful for the Forebay Committee and everybody for hosting an open house about Forebay last week. It was well attended. We got some great comments. Those will be coming to you soon. And then Christmas lights are going up, and that's really exciting. And just put on your calendars the Payson Christmas Festival. That'll be the Saturday after Thanksgiving when we'll do a tree lighting and all of those activities downtown. So invite you out to those.
I've
Thanks,
included
everybody.
that in my mayor's message too, so there should be information on that in my message.
Awesome. Thanks, Mayor.
Hey, Chief.
Mayor and Council, just report on a couple of things. We held our coloring contest, annual one for the fire prevention, in October. And we have really a lot of success with that. We involve grades all the way through 5th grade elementary, and we select a student from every grade at every elementary school in Payson. So this year we had almost 2,000 pictures to grade. So it was nice to assign that to other people. It took them a full day to go through it, but we had some good drawings and great winners, and we had a fun event hosting them. We pick them up in the ambulances and fire trucks, provide a lunch, provide some education, and then we take them back to school. So it's really a fun event for the students. So I wish we could take more, but we can only fit 5 or 6 in a vehicle. So it would take all day to do more than that, but it's fun. The other thing, we continually stay busy with our calls. Our call volume we're about almost 100 calls ahead of last year. Anymore, when we have one ambulance out, we typically get a second ambulance out, and there's been twice this week we've had 3 ambulances plus another one from another agency. So it's staying really busy, especially on the medical part. We also did a little work session with Mountain View Hospital and their division, corporate division, discussing calls and how they can better serve, work with us and the community. They're concerned because the statewide transfers into hospitals are down, not just Payson or HCA or IHC, it's everybody's down a little bit. And so how we can better incorporate services and work together to make sure we're providing the correct services for our residents. Our goal is to take as many as we can to Mountain View Hospital, just in the fact that most of the services they need are there, but it gets our ambulances back in service a lot faster than going to Provo or Salt Lake, even though we still do transfers out of there. So this last couple of years, we're taking almost 1,000 patients to the hospitals, not primarily Mountain View, but also Spanish Fork, Utah Valley, Timpanogos, and we do various others throughout the rest of Salt Lake. So it's pretty interesting, depending on the type of call. There are times we go to Timp or to the Lehigh Primary Children just because of the age of the children and get them the best service they can. But things are staying busy and trying to keep up with it. So appreciate your support. So.
Thanks, Chief.
Thanks, Chief. Any other staff want to address this? Almost had you come up, Kim. When you reached, I almost thought you was gonna come up. Okay. Okay, we'll move on to council reports. Just preemptive to the council reports. It's already been mentioned, the election we've just had, actually, what was yesterday? We won't be commenting on that because it has to be certified before we can comment on it. So it's a fact that we've had an election, and until it's certified, I would not want to comment on it. And we will be moving our city council meeting to the 18th instead of Wednesday. That's that part of that certification process. So just by way of explanation. Okay, council reports, starting with Council Christensen.
It was my turn.
Well, I already.
It is
had
your
you
turn
first.
last.
You want to take it?
No, it wasn't.
You want to take
Okay,
it?
you can
Yes,
have
I
it.
do.
Okay, take it.
Because somebody will say what I was going to say.
Okay, take it.
So we're talking about the candidates. I have to say, when we ran, like, I thought it was hard, but I watched these candidates. I mean, they went way far beyond what I've ever seen a city, for a small city do. I have to commend every one of them. You included, anybody that's here, Lacey, Kurt, you guys did an awesome job. Sorry, the voters didn't come out, but the thing is you guys did an awesome job. You really wanted the job. So I want to tell you thank you for that. I see people out here donating to this little pantry on a daily basis. Like, it is so awesome. And I see people, on Facebook saying, hey, I just took all these meals down. Please go pick them up, and don't, like, they're putting them in bags so you can make the whole thing. When we talk about our city, being a city of people that like to give and help, I drive by there 2 and 3 times a day, and I'm just like, people are giving every single day. So we do have a really good city and people who do that. Wanted to say something about the lights. And I don't think people realize some of those trees take anywhere from a half a day to a full day to put the lights on. So I really want to commend our people who do the lights for our city, because I don't think I would get up there on that tree on those little teeny limbs. So I just wanted, I want you to let them know that we do appreciate that, and they look so beautiful when they come on. So see, I just wanted to, I'm just full tonight. So I just wanted to,
Okay, I
Let it
apologize
out.
to start
it's
the wrong
okay.
place then.
It's okay.
Okay.
I'll cry
And-
myself to sleep.
And go ahead.
Now with the end on Brat.
Okay, so I have one announcement. I am partnering with Miss Payson, Adri Rogers, to do a goal night. She needs to do this to qualify to compete in Miss Utah, and she is awesome and just a ball of fire and energy. If anyone's ever talked with her, and she's come up with this idea, so I'm going to read what she sent to me as a presentation. She says, get ready for an unforgettable goal night with Miss Payson and Ann Moss. She's doing most of it though. This is an evening dedicated to dreaming big, setting meaningful intentions, and turning aspirations into achievable realities. This special event is more than just a planning session. It's a celebration of growth, motivation, and community. Miss Payson and Ann Moss will guide you through powerful goal-setting exercises designed to help you clarify your vision, break through self-doubt, and map out actionable steps towards success. Whether your goals are personal, academic, or professional, you'll leave feeling inspired, focused, and ready to take charge of your future. Expect laughter, inspiration, and a few surprises along the way as we come together to support one another's journeys. Bring your friends, your notebook, and your best energy, because this is so cute, because when Miss Payson and Ann Moss lead the way, goal setting becomes an empowering, joy-filled experience you won't want to miss. That's a lot of pressure. And so it's going to be, and I can't see that small type. She's going to have flyers ready in the next week or so. So it is, it's really tiny. Okay, December, Friday, 12th at Petite Meat Museum from 6 to 8:30. So I encourage you to get the word out and please join us. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then other than that, I just want to commend all of our staff as usual for all the work that you guys do. You're amazing, and I'm honored to work with you guys and the rest of this council. That's all I've got.
Thank you, Ann. I've already said my piece, so we'll go to Councilor Rowley.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm so very grateful to our city parks department that's put all of our fields and grass to bed in such a good way this year as we prepare for winter. I look forward to a lot of snow this winter. I'm thankful that Robert attended that conference and heard the sneak peek on the scary bills that are coming. I need to give a shout out to the League of Cities and Towns. They do so much to advocate for us. We're proud to be members of that and associate with them and protect local power, local zoning power in particular. To all the candidates that ran, good job. It's hard to put yourself out there, and I know every single person that was running did so because they care about Payson. So I think every single candidate was running for the right reasons. So I'm so thankful to all of you that took the time to care enough to throw your hat in the ring, and to Teresa and Brett in the coming months when we don't get to sit up here with you. Thank you for your service and your years and your energy you put into this. I've learned a lot from both of you. So thank you for your service to Payson City.
We're not through with you yet, though.
Yes, and we'll have another chance to say thank you, but thank you guys. Yes,
Oh, yeah.
yes, enjoy it. And welcome to our new recorder. We're glad that you're here and chose to come work for Payson. It's such an important job, as you know, as you safeguard the integrity of elections and note keeping, minute keeping in our city. It's so vital. And Kim, you've paved the way and are training her well. So thank you for being here for so long as well. You'll be so missed when you retire. You made the process for me filing to run not so scary and cumbersome. So thank you. And thank you for keeping me out of jail as well and showing me the rules and what rules I need to keep. But I'm just so thankful to this city, its residents, and the staff and employees. I hope we know that we trust you. We love you. We care about you. So thank you to everybody.
Thank you. Councilor Hewlett.
Yeah, I just have a couple of things. One is we have a $75,000 tourism grant for doing a master plan for our outdoor recreation that will be going out this week to get bids for doing that. And then also they just finished the Dry Creek Trail upgrade, or they actually tore it out about 3/4 of a mile and replaced it through the Maples area. And that came from a grant of $104,000 from Outdoor Recreation. So that's completed now. We've already had some good comments on that being done.
One thing I'd like to add on that, Brian, is I have had some concerns expressed because the sides of that trail are kind of rough, and where there's some ruts there, I've been reassured by by Wes that those ruts will be taken care of. It wasn't part of the bid for the trail itself, but we will take care of those rough sides.
And the reason that happened because they actually went in when we got all that rain, all this time, and when the rain came, that's when they were working on it. So.
Right. Brett.
I don't have anything to say. I'm just kidding. I do have some stuff. First of all, I can see how much of an influence I've had on Kim because she quit when I wasn't going to be on the council anymore. So we can see where her true allegiance lies. But we're excited for Amelia and the work that she's going to do for us, and excited for Kim to have her time to enjoy life. The 4-Bay meeting, when we had first brought that up, I thought, oh, everybody's in game for this. We don't need to have an open meeting, an open house, but we do need to make sure that everybody is on board. And it was eye-opening. There were a lot of people that were there that were concerned and wanted to make sure that they were heard. And so it was good to have that opportunity to hear them and to maybe discuss some options for leaving a little bit of access available for them. I know that we're going to meet as a committee before we bring that to the city council to discuss some of those variables to leave it a little bit easier. We did have some written into the original agreement that allowed for land swap kind of avenue, but I think we might be looking at something else. We'll figure it out and try to make sure that everybody there is happy. But I know for a fact that I am super excited to see that area preserved, for us to be able to do with as we see fit as a city and as future councils, that they'll be able to provide us with outdoor recreation areas that is a little bit more accessible year round. Sometimes it's a little bit frustrating when you see the gates close and you're like, but it's beautiful. It's fall, it's spring, open our gates, let us up the mountains. But this will be low enough that we can still enjoy as much of the mountain as possible without having to worry about those gates. Robert, I didn't like your presentation. We could just forego all of that. I'll be completely honest. That defendable space, the higher tax, I don't fully understand that, but I think that's something that definitely needs to be looked at a little bit more. I'm a great big red spot on that map, and I have spent the last, I just looked at that and I thought, I spent the last 20 years trying to clean it up enough around me that I have defendable space, because I'll tell you, every time a firework went off, I perked right up, because I had trees, I had bushes, things that surrounded my home. I can see that concern is there, and hopefully we can find some way to make that all happen. But it does also take that mountain fill that we have around here and push it back and urbanize it, and puts all that green water thirsty grass around us. And so sometimes that's not the best options to have. The density, 8 acres, 8 units to the acre. Yeah, I'm down. I'm not good on that one. If we wanted to set that as a max, I wouldn't mind that. But as a minimum, not so much. And a little confession, I love my little Hallmark Lifetime movies. Christmas time, right? We were watching one the other day, and my wife goes, "That's downtown Payson." I says, "No, it's not." Lo and behold, it was. There are lots and lots of those. And as I was looking at it, how they always park the cars down the road the way that we've got them set up now. And it's just kind of a cute little downtown area. And it's fun to see the changes that have come there. We've learned a lot. There's some things didn't quite go as planned, but I think that it's still great. We need to get those emblems burnt into the concrete a little bit better than they've been in the past. To see those already worn off is a little bit frustrating. But I think downtown, between the Downtown Alliance, which they've done great things, it's really, really revitalized that area, and it's coming to life. So that's all I have to say.
And you didn't have anything to say, but I'd hate to say
Yeah.
it when you did. So thank you.
Can I say
Appreciate
one
it.
more thing?
Yes,
This
go
is to
ahead.
Robert.
No,
But-
you can't be last. You were first.
That's why I can be last.
I can tell if she can.
So on the garages, so down in that subdivision, I think it's like 790 South, 7th West or something. I can tell you, because they didn't make them put garages there, every one of those people wishes they had put a garage on. I mean, and they just don't get done. It's like they want to put it on, but finding somebody to put it on, I can actually tell you, I knew a lot of those people down now. Now they've kind of moved away, but they all wanted a garage, and it was a way to save $2,500 or $3,000. I realize it's more than that now, but as far as garages, I think you need them. I do. I'm just letting you know.
Yep.
I was very specific about that area. So I want you to fight for garages.
It's a,
Let you know when to testify.
yeah, it's a
You
process.
go ahead. Yeah, I will. I'll be glad to do that.
Yep. It's a process. Okay, thank you for all your comments. We'll go on to action items. Ordinance amendments to the general plan regarding water use and preservation element. Travis, are you here? There you are. Yes, that's why I couldn't see him. Yeah.
All right, Mayor and Council, we can read every word on these if you want, but I don't plan on doing that, so. So this is, it's based on a law that the legislature passed that it's called SB 110, so we're required to adopt this as part of our general plan. It's the water element of it, as you can see on the top. The reason is that for supply management and conservation, and that's kind of the main reason why they're doing this. So You can see on that second highlighted paragraph, because of that, in the Utah code that it references, this element defines how the city will set conservation goals. So I'll go through a couple little things in this, ask any questions if you need to or want to, but we don't really have a lot of options. We have to adopt something. So I did go through the state on this and got their opinions and got those implemented into it before we took it to the planning commission. So I've got all that in there already, so they are good with it for now. So
Travis, did the state have prescribed conservation elements for us, or did we come up with our own?
that's a combination of both.
Okay.
So mostly them, but we did do both. So obviously that part is the only part on that last little highlighted is, so the state has a requirement that they say they want everyone to reduce by 20% from the 2015 numbers to 2030. So we'll show you a little graph of kind of where we're at and that, but that's kind of the main goal that the state wants.
Do they take into account growth?
Yeah, it's per capita.
Okay.
So it's not an overall, because obviously your water usage is going to go up with growth, but the per, home use is what they're looking at. So
Kind of shifts from agricultural to residential.
yeah, yes. And obviously ag, depending what it is, can use a lot of water, as Councilman Rowley and I talked about yesterday. So.
Less than houses.
But you can see the numbers on the top. So right now we're trying to go from 222 gallons per basically resident to 179 by 2030 is the kind of the goal. So the only way to really do that is through rates. So if we have no reduction, the only way is that you have to raise your rate so that people are discouraged from using a lot of water. It's not the most popular, but there is no other real way to encourage that. I mean, you can take out landscaping, you can do some things, but it's pretty tough to get that number down if you don't kind of make it uncomfortable for somebody to use that much water. So that's kind of that's what that second one is highlighted for.
And just so you know, the state controls, they control the water and they put pressure on us first to do some of these things as well.
So central focus of this is obviously landscaping. We've addressed some of that already with some of the stuff we've adopted, like some of the Central Utah, recommendations. Some of that we've already started. So we've put some steps in there. Obviously down at the bottom, it talks about, we still allow grass. That's what obviously turf means for anyone that's wondering what turf, it's not artificial turf. But we allow it in a planter strip still. We haven't gone to the point where we flat say you can't put it in, because the recommendation is you shouldn't have grass in any planter strip or any island that's less than 8 feet wide, just because you lose a lot of water, as you've seen around. If it's a narrow strip, people are watering, but it's shooting all over the road, the sidewalk, wherever. So that's something we can look at in the future if we want to. That's not a recommendation in here that we have to do, but that is something that would help, is basically saying any new growth, we wouldn't allow it. And obviously we have the flip the strip that we, through Central Utah, that if people do want to do certain things that if they meet those criteria, they can get a little reimbursement for that. But it's definitely not a big thing that's happened yet. So this is some of the recommendations for the zoning, and like I said, this is one of the recommendations, is to prohibit that grass in there, require xeriscape in those areas, which is not xeriscape, which means nothing other than say rock. It actually has some trees and bushes and stuff, but that's what they're recommending. Encourage drip irrigation, obviously, in those areas. Go ahead.
Well, you're just saying prohibit turf. I mean, there's artificial turf and natural turf. Do we need to prohibit natural turf so that somebody, if they want to put AstroTurf fake grass in there?
If we do an ordinance change, that would be something I would recommend that we.
Okay. I just think that specify natural turf so that it could still be green if somebody wants it green.
Yeah. So you can see that. I'm not going to read all those, but you can see some of the recommendations that are on there.
Well, and I know that this has kind of been in the works for a while, and we got a little bit of pushback when we put the meters on our irrigation systems, but that's all part coming down from the state requiring that of us, so we can keep track of where it's going.
Yep. So obviously by doing these, it just, it gives them, these are the references in our title where we're going to have to probably make some changes. So that's why just I highlighted that as Title 12 and Title 4, some areas we're gonna have to probably update. And then this is just a quick table, nothing big, but this is where our actual wells and tanks, this is how much storage and source we have currently right now with what we have. So that's just, I just wanted to kind of point that out, that we had to include that in the report. And then this is for the PI system. So it gives the pond storage, where we get water from the high line and all that good stuff. So.
Travis, I'm not an English major and I don't try to critique everything, but Fort Bay is missing a Y on your thing.
I did not type it, but I can change that.
Thankfully you didn't then, okay.
So obviously we use a consultant to help do hydraulic modeling. So that's how we track, you know, like kind of where we're at. So if a new development wants to come in, we require them to get put in our sewer and water and PI models so that we can see if there's any issues with that. So obviously the more units, the more impact, right? So we track that so that we don't find ourselves in the, you know, and find out, hey, for you to approve any more developments, we need a new water tank, which is a 2.5, 3-year process. And we need it 2 weeks ago. So we're trying to keep ahead of that. And so that's just kind of what we're highlighting there. And then this is just, this kind of shows you the per capita usage. So this is that number that the state's going to want to see. And we have to report water usage each year based on the meters. So the purple bottom line is the PI, the one just above it is culinary. You can see culinary has gone up and down a little, but it's pretty flat. It hasn't really changed a lot over the years. PI obviously has gone up over the years. So then the top line is just kind of a combination of both of them. So the PI is probably where we need to focus the most on trying to get conservation, which obviously makes sense because that's where people use the most water. But then that gives just the existing and future demands. So it kind of goes through based on what our projections are. You can see the top is, I'll move that up if I can. So it just, the top part's the drinking water system and then the bottom's the PI. And it gives you where we are, where we were in 2020 and then in 2060, kind of those numbers. So that's kind of the gist of it. It's just basically trying to find ways so we can conserve water. We are in one of the driest states in the nation. So obviously the state is focusing on that. They haven't gone to the extreme yet, like Arizona and Nevada, where they eliminated all grass pretty much and that. So I think if we can do our part, you know, we should be fine. And we have, for the foreseeable future, we have plenty of water source.
Excellent.
You know, we will have to drill some more wells, or there is a plan obviously in the future for Central Utah to build a water treatment facility for drinking water. So I think we're in a good position of how to meet growth demands, but we just have to keep an eye on it and try to make sure we all have it for whether it's ag or, you know, M&I use or whatever it is. So if you have any questions.
Any discussion, council?
Thanks, Travis, for putting this together. I'm glad to see the capacity that Payson City has going into the future. And like the mayor had already mentioned, just our forebears that planned so well to get a hold of so much water and pipe it here. We wouldn't have a city without it.
Okay. There's no further discussion. I'm ready for a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the ordinance amendments to the general plan regarding water use and preservation element.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion been seconded. Go ahead and start with Council Christensen.
Yes.
Council Hewlett.
Yes.
Council Rowley.
Yes.
Council Moss.
Yes.
Council Hyatt.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Motion carries. Moving on to number 2, resolution potential real estate purchase contract for the building located at 268 South American Way. Dave?
Yeah. Mayor and Council, back in August, we entered into a real estate purchase contract to purchase the Plunder building. We had a 90-day due diligence time period that we could investigate and see what it would need and what it would take to bring that building into standards to be a public safety building for the police department. We did hire a consultant, a contractor, and an architect that went through the process. Through that process, it was determined that to bring that building up to a seismic 4 category that is needed for a public safety building, it would be cost prohibitive, many millions of dollars. So our recommendation as staff is that the council make a motion that we cancel the real estate purchase contract and that we get our earnest money back and we move forward. So I don't know if you have any questions or concerns, comments. That's staff's recommendation.
Anything, council?
I'm just glad we went through the process of anything we look at something big like this is something the city ought to be doing to make sure we're good with our residents' money.
This, for me, I'm ultimately relieved of this outcome, and for me personally, even if the retrofitting would have been significantly less because of the location and the current financial things that we've already committed to, I was not in favor of this purchase, and so I'm glad that we have the information that we do, and we can move forward and make a good decision for our police department. But I'm glad it didn't work out.
Anything else?
I do have a little bit that I'd like to add. One thing that I think was probably the most enlightening from this whole process, we understood the purchase of it, the changes to it, but I think that category 4 earthquake proofing, it makes sense. If there's a natural disaster, a big earthquake, we want our first responders buildings to stay standing for longer than the earthquake will shake them, which does clearly point out the fact that we need something down the road. And we're currently working on the fire station, but I think it needs to be part of a 5 to 10 year plan that the fire department does end up in a building that's not going to crumble during an earthquake. So
The police
the
department.
police department, with fire department's going to, because that's where we're headed with that one. But so
Thank you.
I'm
Brett.
glad we went through this process. The last time this came up, I think we backed out too soon. We didn't have enough information. I think people panicked too soon. With this process, we had some exits. We needed more information. If we didn't go through this process, I think we'd always wonder, or at least some of us would always wonder, because I was really listening to Chief Bishop, and I think it was a perfect location because of what he said for the police department. They had quick access to freeways and all that stuff. And so I really want us to really listen to what our police department says they need before we decide for them what they need, because they're the professionals in that capacity. I'm disappointed in that regard, but at least we know, and now we know other things that we need that we weren't aware of before too. So I think it's good that we know all this information and we can move forward now and keep our police department in mind for their needs.
Okay, anything?
I
Okay,
think we just automatically.
then if there's no further discussion or questions, I'm ready for a motion.
Mayor, I motion that we cancel the real estate purchase contract for the building located at 268 South American Way.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion been seconded. Roll call vote starting with Council Hyatt.
Yes.
Council Moss.
Yes.
Council Rowley.
Yes.
Council Hewlett.
Yes.
Council Christensen.
yes.
Thank you. Motion
Thank you.
carries. Thank you, Dave. Moving on to H, we have a work session, 2-hour parking historic downtown. Robert?
Thank you, Mayor and Council. It says 2-hour parking, but I sincerely hope this doesn't take 2 hours.
No, it won't.
I keep reading it and I keep thinking 2 hours to talk about parking.
No, that sounds like the beginning line to a horrible book. We appreciate the opportunity to look at this, though. Our downtown is beautiful and really, really special, and we want to make sure that it's functional as well. And that was kind of those words and those verbs were kind of the driving force as we went through this whole process. And it's good to take a look back. So we appreciate the opportunity to do that. I'm going to invite Ty Jones up as well. He's been really influential in helping us gather some data. We wanted to provide you guys some good data to make good decisions and to have a good discussion. So Maybe to start off with, I'll let Ty kind of explain the process that he's gone through to talk to a lot of the businesses downtown, and then I'll step back in and show you some of that data. So.
Thank you, Robert. Mayor, council, citizens, just to introduce myself, my name's Ty Jones. I have a business on Main Street, but I am also president of Historic Downtown Payson nonprofit, or sometimes referred to as the Business Alliance. But anyway, where this started was in speaking in our economic development meeting. They I was giving my downtown report, and anyway, that Robert and David, when we were discussing the parking, I said, where is everything at on that? And they kind of requested some data, and so I said, we're here to help. Let me do what I can. So I actually, Robert created some QR codes for a survey, and dropped them off at my office. And I personally went around to each business on historic Main Street, tried to get some on Utah Avenue. And this is kind of what I have gathered. Whether they did the survey or not, I can't say. I invited them to, but I would also have a conversation. So I spoke with building owners, business owners. I talked with employees, workers, and the customers, the patrons. Just anyone I could during that time. I just asked them their thoughts, and I just listened, and tried to be as unbiased as I could, so I could gather correct data. I will say the majority of people said, "Why? What's the point? Is there a problem?" Um, a couple people said they just made downtown inviting, and this would make it more uninviting. I feel like the point was that patrons could visit a business, then go to another, and then hopefully another. And now in the back of their minds, they feel like they need to rush because they'll get a ticket. I got a couple of those comments. A few of them said a lot of parking on Main Street was taken away already. There were a couple more, especially on the side with the water feature, that said, I would rather see handicap spots before time parking, because I feel like my customers, especially with walkers or crutches or whatever, have to walk to the end cap because they're unable to cross that bridge. A few of them said, I don't think 2 hours is long enough. Some of them, especially the salons and some of the patrons of salons, maybe not so much barber shops, but they said hair work takes over 2 hours. And so I see a nod. I don't have that problem. I can get my hair did in 2 hours. So yeah, so I'll leave that to the fair sex to instruct me on that. So I'm taking them at their word. Some asked if taxes would go up so the city could enforce this. I didn't have the answer, obviously, but I said, please put that in the survey. Let me take that back to the city and report that. Restaurants felt indifferent because they're like, yeah, I think every one of our customers can, visit and eat in less than 2 hours. Um, but they weren't necessarily in favor for it or against it. They just kind of said, okay, let us know what we need to do. And I said, well, it hasn't gone through yet. We're just gathering data. Um, One person said, could the city monitor the street for a week and use that data? And once again, I just said I'm happy to report that, and I did ask everyone to fill out their survey and express those views. Whether they did it or not, I don't know. Those are some of the points. I did hear from someone who has nothing to do with downtown. He's like, I can see the value in it, because from a business standpoint, that would increase the flow of customers. But then again, I feel like the investment in downtown um, was for that inviting spirit and that hometown feel. Um, Me personally, I don't know, my customers that visit my insurance agency aren't there for 2 hours. Sometimes they're there for an hour and a half, or however long our appointment goes. But I feel like they can find parking, and I I just wanted to report that was kind of what I was hearing. I took notes. I invited them to fill out the survey. I don't know if they did. I couldn't really find anyone complaining, other than a couple people said if some of the residents in the apartments, if they would just park in the back, I feel like there wouldn't be a problem. After I did this, I tried to keep an eye on it, and I I don't know. Another great source to ask would be the workers who keep the street clean, who water the plants, even the workers who put up the lights. They probably can be a great resource of what they saw. But that's some of the data I gathered. And I don't know if there's any questions for me or concerns. If not, I'll turn it over to Robert again.
Well, I kind of feel like this is my baby because I've been down there a couple of times and I see some of those cars that have sat there all day long. A few of them I actually watched employees of certain businesses park early in the morning and walk in with their lunches. And I'm like, well, you're planning on being here 4 to 8 hours. Why are you parked in the primo spots? And that's kind of why it spurred me a little bit to say, the residents living upstairs, the people that are working there, just to discourage them from using those parking stalls, kind of encourage them to walk just a little bit farther, and take the less primo spots. And that was my issue. And I've been down there a few times and there aren't parking spots. You go down there on a Friday night and they're all used up and it looks great, and I know that there's an event center down there with a great big parking lot behind it, which if you're coming from out of town, you may not realize that's an optimal parking spot behind for that event center. So you'd take all the parking on the main street because that's where the address would take you. GPS would take you in and park you there. But if you got up front and there was a sign that says 2-hour parking limited on the streets, additional parking in the rear, it would trigger that, hey, I'm going to be here for 3 hours. I'm going to take that spot and let this one become available to 6 different people in that same 2-hour time frame. And that's kind of been my push with it, is to allow that higher turnover of those more fluid businesses that are there. And so that's my justification for the need for the work session and to talk about the historic downtown parking.
Sure. I can say when I did go around, upon the advice of Dave and Robert, I did say, I do know the city would like employees to park in the back parking lots so it can open up space. Most of them were like, okay, we'll, we'll do that. And, I mean, some of them were like, could there be signs that say parking in the rear? Um, but yeah, any other question, concerns, obviously, I know the decision isn't mine. I really don't have a dog in the fight. I just wanted to provide pure data, at least the purest I could. Any questions, comments?
Appreciate your hard work on it, Ty.
Okay, thank you.
Ty, thank you. You do a lot for the city on a volunteer basis.
I'm truly so grateful for Ty and his willingness to go out and do that. I do have a little bit of information about the responders. So if it comes up. So from Ty's efforts, we did receive some responses with about 21 of them. The first question that was asked on the survey was, do you think on-street parking in downtown should be time enforced? Overwhelmingly, people did not want that. But if you did answer yes, then there were a couple other questions about how long should it be. This was completely evenly split on 2, 3, or 4 hours.
It takes 3.5 hours to color your hair. And if you have really long hair, it takes 4.5 hours.
Right.
But my question,
So I think,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That
part
that
of
would just be someone parked in the back versus someone parked.
Exactly.
Salon people just have to tell them.
So I think that there's some really good information here that I think one of the big things of this, and that kind of the take home message for us as staff, is education is really important, right? How can we help educate people that if you're going to be there for a long time, we've actually provided space for you in the library parking lot, or in the parking lot by the ERA building, or by the Mi Ranchito restaurant area and stuff like that. So there are opportunities to be there for a long time, but so that kind of saves space on Main Street and Utah Avenue for those people that are just running in or grabbing lunch or whatever that is. As part of this, and this actually goes through and provides a little bit more information and breakdown and asks for comments, and most of the comments match exactly what Ty just described. And so maybe just anecdotally, in a previous life, I worked really closely with parking downtown in a larger city, and it takes a lot of work, but education is really important. One of the things that I thought about that might be helpful, and that Councilmember Christensen mentioned, was some wayfinding signs. Those were some things that were considered, but wayfinding to say, hey, there is public parking right back here. You don't have to just rely on what's there on the street. To provide a little bit more context, I asked Jonathan to use his drone a couple times just to fly downtown and see what was the situation down there. One of the things that I learned in that previous life was that you want really good utilization of your parking lot. You don't want an empty one, because that means nobody's there, nobody's patronizing those businesses and things like that. But you also want people to be able to find a spot. And every time that I looked at the video that he shot, there was good utilization of all of the parking areas, but there were also available spaces, and you could see people moving in, moving out, all of those different types of things. And if you want to see that video, I'm happy to forward it to you. But it was really kind of that reassurance that the parking is actually working pretty well. But I think with some tweaks, we can improve it and make it easier for people to understand that, hey, there is handicap parking in the back. We can't provide that on Main Street. The ADA requirements prohibit us from actually providing ADA designated stalls on the street, but we've provided those where we can in the parking areas. And so those are some things that I think that we could make some improvements on. Do I think that we actually need a signed 2-hour parking or timed parking right now. As staff, I can honestly say I don't think that that's necessary right now. But I think that there are some ways that we can improve it. So I would love to hear your thoughts though.
Council?
Thank you. Yeah, I don't, to me, this feels like we're regulating a problem that doesn't yet exist if we move forward with time parking on Main Street proper. I know sometimes you go down there and there's not spots, and that's a beautiful thing. That means there's people in those businesses, and you can always find spots around in other spots of the parking lot. And I don't want to encumber our beautiful downtown with signage like that yet, and I don't want to tie up police resources to babysit that at this time either. And so for me, I'm glad we gained this information, but I would err on listening to the business owners, what they really see every day and experience, and they seem to not think this is a problem.
So I look at this, and at one time I was kind of for some limited time on Main Street, but as I look at it more, a lot of times you drive down Main Street and there's parking spots on Main Street. The other thing is, I think now that the parking lots are finished, we need to go to the plan where we have for the residents that live down there, they need to get their permits and be able to regulate that because it's already in place. We just need to start doing that. And then and again, it's back to education. Talk to the business owners, have the employees park farther away. And also, if they, like the salons, they know somebody's going to be there for 2 or 3 hours, they can teach their people, because they come back all the time, to say, you might think about parking in the back to open this up for other people.
It's actually much easier to access from the
Right.
back.
Yeah.
And that I've had some conversation with people that need the handicap parking, and I've researched it a bit. It's just as close to that handicap parking. The library is just as close as the hair salon. I've walked it, and depending on your gait, it varies a little bit, but it's within 2 or 3 steps.
Yeah.
So the handicap park is placed well.
Yeah. I appreciate the comments about education, because I think that's really key, and we can work with Ty's group, and Marty and I have actually been going out visiting different businesses, and that can be kind of something that we talk about of, if you have employees, make sure that you remind them that there are better spaces for them to park in rather than just on Main Street. I think the other thing about parking, especially in downtown areas, is just an education component of distance, right? So I did a quick little analysis of, like if you parked mid-block on between Highway 198 and Utah Avenue, and to go to like El Tapatio, that's 273 feet to the door. If you parked at the very first cart return in the Walmart parking lot, to the door is 250 feet just to the door, right? And so sometimes it's a matter of perspective as well, right? Like, what uses are we really providing, and proximity really is less than people might think it is. So even if you're parking on Utah Avenue to go to lunch, it's probably not as far as you think. So.
Well, and I think that the two most compelling comments that Ty presented was, we just made downtown Payson welcoming, and this would make it unwelcoming. And also, there are multiple businesses on there. Sometimes you want to go out to eat, and then you want to go to another store or whatever, and that hinders their businesses. And in 2 hours, I don't think would be long enough. That would stop the progress that we want. So
Robert, going back to what you said about walking, so the people that are going to say they want to park right in front of the business, and then later that evening they get their little thing and say, we got to walk 10,000 steps.
Yeah. So we're just encouraging them, right?
So
We're a healthy city.
I just have one comment on Utah Avenue. People are parking the wrong way.
Yes.
And
we have noticed
and a
that
lot of
as
things,
well.
what's happening is then you can't get in because they're not parking correctly.
Yeah.
How do we fix that?
Just enforcement.
Some enforcement. Yeah.
That's the
If they're parking the wrong direction.
Well,
we
I've
can ticket them.
called Brad several times,
Yeah.
and I've even told people, I said, you're parking the wrong way. You have to turn around. One guy just said, I'll park here if I want to. And I just said, okay, most of them are okay. I won't park this way again. But
Yeah.
There was one guy that was like, I can park wherever I want and wherever I want and whenever I want. Just like,
That's a
okay.
misconception.
It'll just be enforcement, and sometimes it's, the calls for service outweigh that, but it'll come around.
But we really appreciate this opportunity. Again, thanks to Ty and his downtown group. They've been wonderful to work with. Any other questions for me or further direction for me?
So just like what he said, can we get the people who have apartments there, get permits on there so that we can see if they're parking where they shouldn't be parking?
Yes, that program
And
is
I would
ready to
think
go. Dave
like a
has the
permanent one,
permits.
not a mirror hanger.
Yeah, one that goes
Something
right
that's
on
stuck
their
to the
window.
windshield, so that when they're sitting on Main Street, you're like, you're not really supposed to be here.
Right.
And
So we have the mirror hanger ones right now, and we can look into the permanent sticker
But
ones.
I mean, and this is maybe a little intrusive, but you could put a camera up for a month or two. You're going to pick up the ones that are,
That are being
there all the
abused.
time. And I mean, I don't think people would care, but that way you don't have anybody really patrolling. You could go through from like 6 o'clock in the morning till 6 o'clock at night, and you'll see the ones that are sitting there and they never move.
Yeah, there's some.
It's just a cheap way to do it.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
Okay. I think we've had a great conversation.
It did
and I
take 2
think
hours.
that Ty did all the work. I think he went out and did the educational aspect that needed to be done.
Yep.
And so in reality, that's where we needed to start. And it's just getting the people thinking, talking about it in the city council meeting. I'm game.
I thought it was
give it a year or two, and if it's not, and it's still a problem,
Yeah, we
somebody
revisit.
else's problem.
Then Brett will run again for city council.
Okay, thank you, Robert.
Thank you all.
Okay, council, come to that point of the meeting that I'm going to ask you for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned. Thank you.